And I told my representation, I was like, this is it. Like whatever else we've been reading, let's put it to the side because we're going to make this show.
Hi guys, how are you?
Doing well, Lucy. How are you?
How are you?
Great, thank you. So I started watching the show without knowing anything about it, and I was surprised with how many, plot twists and cliffhangers, and all in the first episode. I couldn't stop watching. So congratulations on making such an addictive show, and a great one as well.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yes, I really did. So I wanted to ask you about your reaction, when you first heard about the project or when you first read the script about it.
Dan came to me, he said, I've written this thing, man, and as I was writing it, I think I may have written you in mind for one of the lead characters. So take a look at it. If you like it, great. If not, no big deal. He's very sort of like, he plays it very close to the vest, very chill. And I hit him back and I was like, dude, I'm in. Like, this is amazing. But I was primed to think it was going to be amazing because I got a chance to work with him for 6 amazing years on a wonderful show. So I was already determined to sort of like the show. And I told my representation, I was like, this is it. Like whatever else we've been reading, let's put it to the side because we're going to make this show.
You guys?
I had a similar experience in that I was a huge fan of Dan's and Sterling's, and then reading the script similar to you, where I was just shocked that how much he could pack in believably into one episode. And then I found that with the continuing episodes also. I have to say it's for me, knowing that Sterling and Dan wanted to work together again, that really is a testament to who they are and their trust in each other and their loyalty to each other and their encouraging of each other to continue to go deeper. And that was exciting to me to be invited into that partnership in a way. It was really special. And then James, as icing on the cake.
And then, but Julianne and I worked together years ago.
Yeah, I was so excited to work with James again
and do similar work.
Yeah,
we did Ally McBeal together.
This is
so
sort of
simple. Yeah, so similar.
I remember.
Same. I mean, you move through. If you're lucky enough to have a long career in this business, it's like, how do you just surround yourself with great minds, great talents? If you're lucky enough to do that, and this is just an example of that, really. And same as exactly what you said. I read the first episode and I went, wow. I want the audience to experience what I just experienced when I read this, and this was gripping, and I didn't know what the hell was going on, but I was intrigued, and that's always just a great mark. And then you then you have Dan and you have Sterling and Julianne. It's just a mix of all things great. So it was an easy yes for me.
Yeah, and I love the characters. I mean, everything is so well constructed in that way. And talking about you, James, first, I mean, the president could have been just one note, like, okay, yeah, there's a president, and yet he has so many layers, and you get to know him, and you love him, and he's so charismatic. I mean, it's incredible. How did you manage to actually make him so human?
Wow, that's, first of all, very nice of you to say. I appreciate that. Thank you for the applause. It was a little short. It was a little short, but I'll take it. No, I would have been a lot more nervous if I was, stepping into the role of the U.S. president, if it weren't designed like Dan designed this character. I don't necessarily see myself as that figure, as the figure. Yeah. But once Dan and I began to chat and reading the scripts, and it was like, this guy is, you see the human side of this man, and he's very flawed, but he's very charismatic, and he likes to have a good time. He's dying to have a friend, someone close to him, and it
sounds a lot like James.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, I just discovered myself why I did the role. But I guess it was an unconventional approach to playing the president of the United States. So, which to me just made it that much more delicious, I guess, to jump in.
And Sterling and Julianne, you guys are both doing roles that for me, I mean, I have followed your careers and they are so different from what I'm used to seeing of you. So I really love that variety. And I want to start with you, Julianne. And your character, Sinatra, is my favorite. She's broken. She lost so much. What can you tell me about the contrast between, you know, her present, her past? How did you work on that?
I felt really lucky that it was so early on in the season that I could explore her past, because I feel like you can read it, but you have a different understanding of it when you film those scenes and you sort of do your version of experiencing what that might be like. And I just am so thankful to Dan actually to have taken the time to fully explore this woman and where she starts from and where she ends. And it was very exciting to sort of play a type of bad guy, though there's no one thing I love about the show is like there's no black and whites. Sure. It's a lot of gray. And so it was very exciting to get to do that. I also do just want to compliment the production design of where you are, because that is like such a beauty.
You
look so cool.
My Almodovar set.
Yeah, it's very good.
Well done.
Thank you. And finally, Sterling, your character also lost a lot. So what can you tell me about him?
I think like you find him and he's still sort of actively trying to figure out how to move forward in a way that brings joy back to his life. Right? He sort of throws himself into his work because that's really all he has. He has his children and he loves his children, but he's still just trying to like hold it together for them. And I don't think he's gotten to a place where he's actually able to fully enjoy the life that he has because he's grieving the life that he's lost. So I think that was interesting. Whereas like other characters in the past, like will be in the midst of grieving something, but are a bit more fully, involved or sort of put themselves back together in a more realized way than I think Xavier has at the beginning of the show. So that was an interesting thing to sort of live in. Because I think I'm naturally a very joyful person, and sort of to have to mute that for a little bit was an interesting experience.
Completely. Well, thank you guys so much for your time. I really am loving the show, really. So, see you in Buenos Aires probably someday. I know, Julianne, you have been, so maybe.
I love Buenos Aires. It's incredible.
Hasta pronto. Yo quiero venir pronto.
Yeah, excelente. Qué buen español.
Thank you.
Chao, chicos. Bye.
Adiós, Lucia.